Hey guys, I'm Jeff, and welcome to Insite's first ever long-form vlog, where I'll be sharing with you our heavy equipment wins and losses. So as you can see, I started the day filing expenses, while Rafi, our marketing and legal head, edited our upcoming video. An hour later, I got a call from our parts suppliers down at Caloocan that our orders are ready. So the next thing on our list was to go do some pickups.
With fries.
After getting our newly re-chromed cylinder, a swash valve, and some hoses, we picked up King and closed down the Mindanao office. Then we headed to our Pampanga yard to deliver the parts our mechanics needed.
Eddie, wow.
On to Tuesday, we began by unloading and distributing the parts from yesterday. First was the parts Kuya Elmer, our chief mechanic, needed, which were the heater plug and swash plate for our Dynapack CA250 Vibro. We then checked what he was up to before we got there, and he was in the middle of fixing the engine of our Caterpillar D5H bulldozer. So here's Kuya Elmer shortening the rod to make the clearance smaller and increase the engine pressure. After finally finding the right clearance, he then proceeded to attach each of the engine's piston rings.
Yay, it's almost done. Psych!
Moving on to our other bulldozer, a Cat D6R XL. Kuya Gerson and Kuya Richard were both busy replacing the unit's old hoses that actually ended up exploding. These hoses are the ones responsible for the blade's up and down movements, so they definitely needed to be switched out with new ones. And lastly for today, here's a painting update of our D50 bulldozer.
Wow!
Wednesday began with a bit of redecorating since we wanted to rearrange some of our units and make the yard a bit more cohesive looking.
Ta-da!
Meanwhile, Kuya Elmer was still busy rebuilding parts for the D5H bulldozer, focusing this time on its oil pump. After completing that, he quickly moved to the vibro pump of the Dynapack CA250, attaching the swash plate we got for him last Monday. It was actually the last piece he needed to finish reassembling the pump, which we'll be handing off to Kuya Richard.
Cool!
Speaking of Kuya Richard, he was busy attaching a newly recon steering cylinder in yet another vibro we are working on, this time a Bomac. As you can see, he's aligning the eye of the steering cylinder to the holes of the bracket so he could secure them all with a pin. Once he finished, he put back the flooring of the vibro and called it a day.
Honestly, same.
Meanwhile, Kuya Jason was over in the other side of the yard with our PC200-7 backhoe, cleaning the housing for the recombed cylinder we picked up at Caloocan.
Time for the remix.
On Thursday, Kuya Richard tested the Bomac he was working on yesterday to see the unit steering, which was working pretty solidly. No leaks. Then we ended up reorganizing the other units to make more space in the yard.
He's actually just OC, don't believe him.
After the testing, Kuya Richard joined Kuya Gerson to attach the vibro pump that Kuya Elmer finished yesterday to the CA250's engine.
Cue the B-roll.
Hey! Up!
After attaching the pump, they were supposed to test the unit, but sadly the unit wasn't moving, so Kuya Elmer came out to diagnose what was happening. But you'll have to catch us in the next episode to find out why.
Maybe he was just shy.
But before Kuya Elmer came out to check out the CA250 Vibro, he was actually working on the D5H engine, but this time he was assembling the timing gear, which according to Google is...
Chill, anyway, here's another update of the painters. And here's a really pretty golden hour montage. You're welcome.
On Saturday, some of our workers opted not to join the long weekend
Could not be me.
and show up to work. So the painters actually ended up finishing the D50P at around 2 PM, while Kuya Fredo came in just to add the PC200-7's railings and finish the latero work for the D5H dozer's radiator.
So yeah, we just hung out in the office. Check out my pretty cardigan. And then here's the sunset. Okay, bye!
So that was episode 1. I'm Jefferson Bote, the CEO of Insite Development and Heavy Equipment.
And I'm Raf. So Jeff, wait, why are we making this vlog anyway?
That's a good question, Raf. Actually, we started vlogging because of 3 things. First, we wanted to show transparency with the process of how we recondition our units, especially since these aren't brand new. But we want our potential buyers to know that we still want to deliver the best quality equipment that they can get at this low of a price point. Second, we all know that having an aesthetic background is a Gen Z way right now. And if we could be that for you, or even actually get to educate you about heavy equipment, that would be amazing. And lastly, we wanted a time capsule of sorts to be able to catalog our company growth, past projects we've undertaken, and how much we learned from the job over time.
OMG, that was really great. Or should I say, insightful.
Anyway, Inside every Sunday.